Hey y'all, what's happening? It's Hunter Elliott, rangehot.com. Hope everybody's doing well. So this afternoon I'm finalizing my review of the CZ Rimfire Silencer. And so we're going to talk about what I've learned through these past couple months, and probably I bet close to 500 or 600 rounds of 22 long rifle and 22 Winchester Magnum Rimfire, or 22 mag. First thing I want to talk about is the dimensions on this silencer. The diameter is 0.866 inches. And kind of the way I think CZ coming up with that diameter is a lot of their rimfire rifles, barrels are similar diameter. So if you were to thread this on one of the CZ, bolt action rimfires, it's going to kind of make a seamless transition from barrel to silencer. The length on this is 6.9 inches, almost 7 inches. So while it is kind of small in diameter, it is kind of lengthy, but there's a lot of benefits to that, and we're going to talk about that now. MSRP, $339. So street price is going to be a lot better than that. It's somewhere around 68.5 decibels, where your average blender, if you're in there making your margarita, is going to be about 90 decibels. My sound meter is going to measure the entire pressure wave. Whatever number that sound meter registers is about the sound that your ear is hearing. So that's a very real world sound. So we've probably got 500-600 rounds through it. The vast majority were shot through the little Kel-Tec P17 that we were reviewing. A lot of them we shot through the Ruger Mark IV 2245 that we've used in a lot of our rimfire reviews, but also shot a lot through the Kel-Tec CMR 30 22 Magnum little carbine, as well as through the Kel-Tec PMR 30 22 mag pistol. So a lot of 22 long rifle, couple hundred 22 mags. Little cans held up well as expected. But let's talk about it. It's a little bit different than what you expect to see as silencers go during disassembly. So you get this tool here. It's got little teeth here on the end of it. If I can get my mouth right here. See that? Cat-like reflexes. And that takes your end cap off. Chad's looking at me confused. So, normally you turn it over and bang it on the table, and your baffles will start falling out if you've been cleaning your can like you're supposed to, which I don't. I mean, I as far as the manufacturer is concerned, I do, but I really don't. So the difference with that is this little tool, it threads down in the can, and those little ears actually capture the baffle. And the baffle is threaded into the can. Now, a lot of people is going to go, well, wonder why they went through all that trouble. I asked that very same question. You see there's little reliefs on the baffles that comes out, and each one of the baffles is in there like that. And then the tool you've got is graduated, so whenever you go to replace them, you know about where to stop. Now, if you don't like the way that works, or if you want to kind of tune the can a little bit, then you can certainly vary where these baffles go in and out of the silencer. But one of the main benefits is these baffles do have cutting teeth on them. So if you are like me and you shoot a lot of rimfire and you don't clean your can like you're supposed to, I've always had that uh-oh moment where I'm trying to take my standard baffle stack can apart and I just can't get it apart. So you get your wooden dowel rod, or you soak it in your daggum cleaner or whatever, trying to get that thing apart. And it usually works after, some effort. Well, with this, now you can see I haven't cleaned it, so it's still kind of tight. Of course, CZ was good enough to machine some shoulders on this, so if you get real bad, you can always put a wrench on it or whatever and get these baffles out. And I'll get them all out. But that it'll cut its way out, so it's really, you can't ever not be able to take your can apart. But also another one of the benefits is, because the baffles are threaded and they don't have the skirt on them that aligns them within the silencer, and you've also got threads cut, even though it's a small diameter can, it's going to have more internal volume as if it was compared to a standard type baffle stack can to the same dimensions. So with more internal volume equates to more room, more suppression levels. So, it's a silencer, y'all. It doesn't really have any moving parts. There's nothing to fail. It direct thread, 1/2 x 28, like you expected on your standard rimfire stuff. It's lightweight. It comes in at 2.5 ounces. All right, so we got all 4 baffles out, and yes, as expected, they are filthy nasty. Y'all, I got to start cleaning these silencers better, because I kind of struggled getting these out. It took some effort, like with a wrench or whatever, it'd come in a lot easier. But if this would have been a standard type baffle can and I would have abused it like this, I promise you, I would have struggled getting the baffles out. So I'm kind of thankful for this design. It does make disassembly and reassembly a little slower, but it is a little more reliable to be able to get the can together and apart, and it gives you the added benefit of a little increased internal volume. For those that may or may not be wondering, that was with some subsonic 22 long rifle, y'all. That was obviously supers would be quite a bit louder than that, but still tolerable to the ear.
Aiming for the middle of the targets. Don't worry about this one.
I was just gonna go like
that one and that one, that one and that one. Okay.
When you're running a rimfire can, you know, rimfires 22 long rifles are nasty to begin with. So if you're running a 22 pistol like this Kel-Tec P17 or your Ruger Mark IV 2245 or whatever, you do need to clean them more regularly than you would your centerfire. They are dirtier. When you add a silencer to the end of it, you're going to get a lot more back pressure. You're going to get a lot more fouling. So you need to be mindful of that. Clean your rimfires often. If you're going to stick a can on the end of it, you got to clean them even more often. So, you know, anyway, that's just food for thought. As always, there's going to be an article on rangehot.com. So if you want to jump over there, and I will have the photos, some more tech specs, all that sort of stuff. So if you feel like I went over something a little quick or didn't answer any questions, just check out the article on rangehot.com, which I will link in the description below. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel. The channel is really growing. You know, we focus a lot of our traffic to get to rangehot.com, but you know, the YouTube channel is doing really well, so we appreciate that. You can also find us on Instagram, Pinterest, Parler, MeWe, Twitter still kind of, but some of the more restrictive social media sites I'm going to begin to shy away from some. Not going to get into a lot of political rant, but you know, we're still going to have a presence there, but I'm going to try to facilitate some of the more open social media platforms that aren't so restrictive. Anyway, so that's all I got. Y'all, I hope you're doing well. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. I look forward to seeing you at the range.